I noticed you're a regular on Twitter.
Recently.
The social networking site. I also noticed you use it as a way to stay connected to your fans directly. Tell me, how often do you update your status? How often
Every day. Because it's on my phone.
Okay.
And I just kind of, I'm constantly, whenever I'm driving, or if I'm, especially early mornings, when you have nothing really to do and you have a steaming cup of coffee and you're a little bit nostalgic and you're introspective, and that's a great time. So I update it and I read all my fans' comments and I reply back to them whichever ones are interesting and whichever ones I can, because there's so many of them.
Right.
I'm working on a website which is going to be extremely interactive again. And it'll have a lot of, videos of just me doing stuff, and like that's how I would like, if I was a fan,
right,
if I liked a celebrity,
right, that's
how I would want to be able to touch them.
Okay.
And so I like doing that, and it's one of my favoriteest pastimes.
Okay. You also write a column for a city newspaper, and I know it's very popular. In fact, I noticed that one of the most popular topics is the battle of the sexes. It's something which you've written about a lot. I want to ask you, like the rest of us writers, do you face writer's block?
Inevitably, I'm writing Thursday night.
Okay.
And inevitably, at 1 in the afternoon, they're calling me. I'm like, Priyanka, I have to go into printing. Can you please send it? And I'm like, oh my God, I have to change this, I have to change that. I go insane every Friday. It's like a film releasing every Friday. But I do get writer's block. But I start thinking about what I want to write about. The rains, the recession, the, MJ recently. Just things that matter to me, what I feel like, what I think. I usually write in the car when I'm driving.
Since you mentioned MJ, I read again on your Twitter page, Michael Jackson was really the reason you got initiated into music, apparently?
Well, pop music, yes.
Okay.
Music was a huge part of our lives since I was a child. My father loves music. So we wake up in the morning with Mohammed Rafi, always, every day.
Okay.
But pop music, I was really young when MJ was 80s. I must have been 6, 7.
Yeah.
So when he was massive with Dangerous and stuff, I was very, very young to know it. But by the time I became a teen, all the boys would only be doing MJ.
Right.
And I was like, what is that?
Okay.
What's with it? So I started enjoying music. I got initiated into English music a lot because of him.
Sure.
Dance moves, what he used to do. Just everything about him was a phenomenon.
Okay.
Everything he touched was something people wanted to do. And I found that very fascinating.
Sure.
What upset me most was he went the way he did. I wish his comeback tour had happened. I wish that, people would remember him for his goodness, because the saddest thing is some things never die.
Right.
Batman never dies.
Right.
James Bond always exists.
Yes.
So MJ doesn't die. It just doesn't happen.
Sure.
Which is why people were so shocked.
Sure.
And I really, which I told people on my account as well, and I'm going to write about it as well. Now the man's gone. He has left us with a generation, an era of fantastic music.
Right.
He's changed pop culture in the world.
Yeah.
Even a rickshawala knows who Michael Jackson is. He was that massive. Let's give him the respect of that. And rather than thinking of the things that happened, the controversies that surrounded him, the loneliness with which he passed,
sure,
I think let's give him the peace that he deserves in his death, what he didn't have in his life.
Okay. And finally, if you could go back and redo something, what would you change about your life?
I think the only regret I really have is not finishing college.
Okay.
I give him education a very, very, I give it a lot of importance, especially for a girl. I feel that you have to be able to be financially independent. And by God's grace, I've reached a point where I think I have become financially independent without college. I'm one of God's blessed children. It does not happen to everyone.
Sure.
And girls need to be standing on their own feet rather than standing on somebody else's. Become independent. It'll give you such a sense of power. And just having a degree feels like, you have something to fall back on. That's my hugest regret.
Okay. Well, best of luck. Looking forward to seeing lots more exciting stuff from you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for entertaining us like you have. Thank you.
Thank you.